Welcome back, friends. Today we're going to talk about high school. I want to share what homeschooling high school looks like for our family. Again, this is for our family. This is how we do things here in our home. I want to share it with you as means of encouragement, as always, with everything I share on my channel. Every single family is going to do things different, and obviously depending on your child's future, their aspirations, their goals, what they want to do with their life, all of that needs to be taken into consideration when you are homeschooling high school, as well as the state requirements. If you are newer to homeschooling, the requirements for homeschoolers in every single state are going to look different. That is definitely something to check into if you are homeschooling a high schooler. HSLDA is an amazing resource for homeschoolers, so I'm gonna link their website down below in case you wanna look at anything. Now that's like the boring stuff, okay? So let me just get to the fun stuff. I do have a pamphlet here that is a guide for homeschooling through high school. This has been an amazing resource to me. I also have a pamphlet that was gifted to me from a friend by Linda Patchen. Curriculum, Transcripts, Diplomas, Oh My is what this is titled. And it talks about homeschooling a high schooler. Again, I know this content is not going to apply to all of you, but I do hope that those of you who are homeschooling high schoolers, this will come in handy for you because it absolutely does for me. It talks about developing a high school plan. Begin at the end, so have the ending in mind. The 4-year plan, evaluating high school credits, graduating guidelines, transcripts, diplomas, all of that type of stuff. And it breaks everything down. High school graduation minimum requirements, you will find all of that in this. Also pulled off of HSLDA. If I can link this directly, I will, but again, I don't know if this is specific to the state that I live in or if it will be a good resource for all of you. However, this right here from HSLDA is a guide through high school, hslda.org/high school. So you can find this and get it mailed to you directly as well. Incredible resource. I do have a handy dandy transcript right here, you guys. So I'm doing this in pencil, but I have been writing down everything that we have been doing up until this point. And I'm going to start keeping track now because I'm telling you, if I wait until the end of the school year, I'm gonna forget half of what we've done. Plus, some of the things that he's doing in our state also like account for high school credit. So for instance, driver's ed. Driver's ed does count for a credit for my high schooler in the state that we are in. So there are a lot of things that are handy to know. Just an academic record or transcript for like a brief overview. This is kind of just tentatively what I'm doing, and I have it all mapped out on here. I'm keeping track of what he is doing so far this year, what we've done in co-op, what we're doing at home, and then the things that also account for high school credit that are kind of things that we don't necessarily think about, like driver's ed, for instance. So a lot of stuff, a lot of information, a lot of things that might sound incredibly overwhelming as I'm just spewing this information to you, but I promise you, once you get your hands on it and you kind of get your thoughts about you, it's really not as intimidating as I was thinking that it was. And like I've mentioned in a previous video, this year, coming into this year, I was very stressed and very overwhelmed at the thought of homeschooling high school because I remember being public schooled, what high school was like for me. And I was thinking, how am I gonna even ever recreate that at home? How am I gonna keep track of all of these things? I'm telling you, HSLDA and other mamas who have graduated, kids who have graduated like high schoolers all the way through, such wisdom that they share that is incredibly invaluable. Like information that these mamas can share and the wisdom that they have to offer to moms like myself and you guys is incredibly invaluable. Like it's such a gift and I appreciate it so much. So if you are a mama who's homeschooled like all the way through or even just through high school and graduated your kiddos, any advice or anything you have, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. I love to have conversations with you guys down there when I can, when time allows, but even if it's something that you think might help another mama who is a homeschool mom and going to go through high school, like, yes, please share it down below. Talk about working in high school and our experience and what this has done for our family, because I have shared that multiple times and I've gotten a lot of questions like, why are you putting his education on the back burner and work a priority? So I want to talk about that. I want to address that because that's exactly the opposite of what's happening in our home. However, let's talk about curriculum. I want to talk about what we've used so far this year and what high school has looked like for him. I feel like this might kind of be a little bit of a choppy video. I do have some things to show, but it can be something you just listen to while you do laundry or do your dishes or are driving down the road, whatever, because it's gonna kind of be a chatty one. High school is not something that you find a lot of content on YouTube regarding. when it comes to homeschooling. So I want to kind of just lay out what we've done so far this year, what we've done in co-op so far, what we've done at home, and what this year looks like up to this point. Again, I want to remind you that we are only halfway through the homeschool year. So there's a whole nother semester of this co-op and all of that we are going to be diving into. First things first, I have books that we've read so far this year. I keep track of all of this in my homeschool planner. This is the cover I have. I do have this available as a PDF version. This is a downloadable file. Shared it here multiple times with you all, but if you're new, maybe you're not aware of this, this is a PDF homeschool planner available for purchase. I created this myself. This is how I track and keep record of how we do things in our homeschool. I'm a reverse record keeper, so I don't wake up to a huge list of to-dos. You see in my planner are things that we have actually already accomplished. These are not things that I wake up to. I write them down as we go, and I continue that through high school as well. Nothing has changed with how I record keep in our homeschool, except for this transcript. That's a little bit different. Okay, so the unit studies that we've done so far, let's start there. Unit studies we've done. We have done, let me dig it out, it fell underneath my couch. We started our year off with the mammals unit study. This is something we did enjoy. This is from The Good and the Beautiful. If you're new to homeschooling, unit studies are just things that you do together with your family. So it's something that we all do, all grade levels. My 9th grader, my 7th grader, and my 4th grader, we all sit down together and do these unit studies. So the mammals is what we started our year off with. We also did the safety. I think I left that back by all my homeschool stuff. We also did the safety unit. Now that one was super quick, and honestly, I did not even need to really do that one. However, I thought it was good for my youngest to kind of freshen up on some of that stuff, and it did spark really good conversations. So we did the safety unit from The Good and the Beautiful as well, and that was a quick thing, like totally quick. We didn't do the workbooks or anything like that. I just read them the information and the picture books that came with that unit study. Gather Round, because we do use Gather Round, their homeschool curriculum as well. The Gather Round homeschool curriculum is also a unit study, like family style curriculum that we use. We've used that curriculum specifically for 3 years now, maybe 4 years. It is not our standalone homeschool curriculum. We do add other things, just throwing that out there. The one we've been using as of right now that we are almost ready to finish up. I think we have 4 lessons left in this one. It is Growing Identity from Gather Round. This is their history course. It is US History 3. This is stuff that I've already covered with my boys, so I do feel like I'm doing some like backstepping and kind of dancing all around, but they're things that I've wanted to do, and I'm not going to waver like what I want to do in our homeschool just based on a specific grade level or that type of thing. So my high schooler is getting some of, if not a lot of what he needs at co-op. So I'll talk about that in a minute, but US History Year 3 is a unit study we've done. Growing Identity, we're going through the Civil War and different things like that. That is from Gather Round. We also did Living Off the Land at the beginning of our homeschool year. We did that simultaneously with mammals, and I thought that was really kind of cool, like to pair the two together. It worked well for our home, for our family. So we did do those as well. So we're already like, I'm telling you, when I sit down and I look at our day, I'm thinking, okay, what did we do? Have we done enough? Or like the $1 million question, have we done enough? Are we doing enough? Am I teaching them what they need to know? Am I helping, give them the tools and resources and all the things? And then I put everything down in front of me and I'm like, girl, simmer. I do this every time. And even sharing this, I'm like going through my son's bin and I find Fix It Grammar, for instance. It's in the bottom of his bin. I totally forgot that I purchased Fix It Grammar and we have it and we were doing it at the beginning of the year. And then I don't know what happened. We just stopped. So as I pulled this out to show you guys, like right here, it's right here. My 2 oldest boys were doing this. This was part of our curriculum for the year. And we got to week 8, we just stopped. Like why? I don't understand what I was thinking or what happened. We got 8 weeks through, like 8 weeks. Are you serious? And then I don't know what happened. I'm trying to think of where we were in life, 8 weeks into our homeschool year. I don't even know, but for whatever reason, we put that down and I'm not really sure why. So we are gonna pick that up again because I love Fix It Grammar. We've used it for 2 years now in our homeschool and my 2 oldest boys do it together. So that works out really well. I do want to share with you another thing my high schooler is using, that is Structure and Style. This is from IEW. Structure and Style and Fix It Grammar, they are both from IEW. We are still working through Structure and Style. This is something my 2 oldest boys do together as well. This is Year 2, Level B, I believe. This we are just working through at our own pace. It does have an overview of how they kind of want things to be laid out. As with any homeschool curriculum, you have like a guide or like a lesson plan, a layout for your week. we do that and shift it and mold it to fit in our home and our homeschool. This is covering the basis for a lot of different subjects for my oldest as he's working his way through high school. Structure and Style Level B is what he is doing. But Life of Fred books, I talk about these, or used to talk about these quite frequently on my channel, and I kind of took a little bit of a break from mentioning them because I forgot that I had them. And usually as it goes, when we clean out our homeschool area, we find books and things that we're like, oh wait, man, I forgot I had this. So the language arts series we have, and then we also have the math. And this has just been reading through these books as well, just as extra reading. On the front of history, again, I'm still just covering things that we've been doing at home so far this year. So this does not include co-op. I've not even covered co-op yet. As you know, I mentioned in a previous video, if this is your first time here, I'll link that video below if you want to check it out. Things I talk about here on my channel, but I did mention that we switched our math curriculum for my oldest. He had been using teaching textbooks up until we started teaching textbooks in 3rd grade. He used it all the way up until this year, his freshman year. He got halfway through the algebra course. Yeah, halfway through the homeschool year, and we had to make some changes. So we have recently switched him to Shorman Math. It's the Dive Interactive is what he's doing now, and that's going really good. This is still a pretty fresh, like recent change, but it's going really well, and he's really enjoying it and learning like amazing things. So I'm very pleased with that change. So that's what we're doing for math. Fun fact, the Algebra 1 actually counts for 2 algebra credits and then 1 geometry credit. So for those mamas who have to keep track of credits when you're doing high school stuff, like that's a huge deal for Algebra 1 from Shorman Math to count for 2 algebra credits and then 1 geometry. That's a big deal. That's pretty cool. And how I was kind of doing a lot of history, how history was kind of heavy this year. I also have been picking and choosing lessons in the history year 3 course book from The Good and the Beautiful. I've had this for probably 3 years now because there was one year specifically that I went crazy and didn't know what history I wanted to use and what I wanted to like implement and how I wanted it to look in our home. So I ordered all kinds of history and went deep with that. I haven't ever gotten rid of all of it because I still am like, I have younger kids. There's just a lot. There's a lot of moving parts and pieces, and I just didn't want to part with it. And I'm glad I didn't because we've taken some good information from this history year 3 from The Good and the Beautiful. So we're doing that too. We're not doing any of the read alouds, like none of the books that are recommended or anything. And they're not doing any of their own like student books. It's just typically read aloud, instruction, conversating. That's what it is. So it's not a workbook type thing. It's just more me reading to them. We have been reading the big book of stories, I think it is, that goes with this. If there's a story specific to the lesson in The Good and the Beautiful with the history, we will do that, but not the chapter books. We're not doing the chapter books with it. So just to clear that up. Now, what homeschooling high school has looked like for us, this is, again, I'm sorry, it's a pretty lengthy video, but I just want to cover all the bases because this stuff, I think it's important and I think it matters. And truly, when you look at your year as a whole, don't look at it one day at a time like I shared before. Look at it as it's a journey. It's your high school experience with the ending in mind. Like, where do you want to be? What do you want to cover and accomplish in those next 4 years before your son or daughter graduates? Like, look at this with the end in mind, not looking at it right now as one chunk, his freshman year, and what are we gonna do? If you kind of tentatively plan out 4 years and kind of what you think you wanna do, what you want to accomplish in that time, and then start picking and choosing what's gonna go where and looking at the credits and all that type of stuff. It seems more daunting, I think, than it really is. And I'm not speaking from a ton of experience on this because I'm only halfway through our first year, like homeschooling a high schooler. So we're still like treading this out, right? But what I have so far is we have covered 1 credit by the time this homeschool year is done. He will have covered 1 credit for geometry, 2 credits for algebra, 2 credits for English, physical education, which is an elective, 2 credits, driver's ed, 1 credit, home ec is 2 credits, that's co-op. We have world history, which is 2 credits. That's also co-op. Careers and trades, 1 credit, which was co-op. American government, co-op. Social studies, we've been doing that here at home, 2 credits for that. He also has work release because, and science, sorry, there's science in there too from the mammals unit study. He's also getting 2 credits for work release. This year, if everything goes as planned, as far as co-op, what co-op's offering and what we're doing here at home, he will have 20 credits for his freshman year, which puts him right where he needs to be. I want to address really quick the whole topic and concept of my oldest working. He is a freshman in high school. Yes, it is legal for him to work where we live. It is legal. Third, I am so excited for him that he actually wants, I'm excited and proud of him, that he wants to have a job. This isn't like a we sent him off and he's gone all day, every day type of situation, guys. This is the perfect situation if I was to pick a place for my son to work and the people that he was going to be around and the hours that he would work that would still fit our home and family life and our homeschool life. Like, this is the perfect God-sent opportunity for him. So yes, it's beautiful. And no, we are not putting his work above his education, but I will tell you, as his mama, and speak for my husband as his father, we are so proud of him. We are so proud of him that in this world that we live in, he would rather go get a job than sit home and stay in his home and do nothing. Like, we are so, so, so proud of him. He gets out there and he works 4 days a week. And it has been such an amazing experience for him. Learn what it's like to actually hold down a job, to be accountable to someone other than me, to manage money, guys. He's managing his finances. This is all big stuff and this is all part of life. And yes, it is beautiful and we love it and I'm so proud of him. And truly, 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 this has been a gift. This has been a godsend. This job has been a gift from God. Truly, the people he's working with, the people he's around, is an amazing opportunity for him. And no, we are not putting this job before his education, which is why he has the hours that he has. I'm not going to go into detail into all that because I don't think it's necessary. Again, this is how we're doing things in our home and our family. Helping my son to be set up for the direction and the path that he wants to go upon graduating. Knowing how to hold down a job is something not to be taken lightly. This is a big deal. This is a huge step for him. This is a huge stepping stone. He has things he wants to buy for his pickup. He has things that he wants to accomplish, goals he wants to accomplish. He is managing his finances. We are walking alongside him and helping and guiding him, and it's been an amazing opportunity. I remember when I was in high school, yes, I was public schooled. Yes, I played high school sports and I held down a job. So I know it can be done. And I think it's an awesome, awesome opportunity. And we are so, so, so grateful that we've been given this opportunity. So yes, he works. No, it is not above his education or anything in our home, our family, his education. Yeah, those are very important things, but it is also incredibly important to know how to work, to be held accountable to someone other than mom and dad. And yeah, it's been awesome. His work is part of our homeschool day. His job is part of our homeschool day. It is part of his learning, his growing, his maturing, and it's been wonderful. Alongside all the things that I shared with you today, we obviously have books that we're reading together as a family. I'm not sharing those in today's video because I think I've kept you all long enough and kind of rambled as much as I need to for one day. This is high school for us. This is what it looks like. This is how things are going. These are the resources that we're using and kind of my stance on the whole high school journey as a whole. So starting with the end in mind. The end in mind would be, yes, my son being able to hold down a job and be able to communicate with people and be able to do, and to be able to manage his finances and do all the things. Like, I think we're there. I'm pretty sure we're there. So now it's just me filling in the gaps in the meantime for the next 4 years. So this is high school for us, guys. This is high school. This is what it looks like. This is not everybody's story. This is not everybody's experience, but this is our story and our experience thus far with high school. I will have so much more to share with you at the end of the year because as we enter co-op again, there are going to be different classes that are going to be offered and different things that are going to be covered that will be added to his transcript. So that's what I have to share with you today. I hope this video helps those of you who are wanting more high school content. This one's for you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.